What's up? This is Tom Froming from TwinsDaily.com. As you can see here today, Alex Kirilloff was optioned to the Twins alternate training site. If you've been following along on the channel, uh, even back in early December, this has been my expectation all along. And Kirilloff's poor spring didn't really help him in any cause kind of break that expectation of mine. There are service time considerations, there are other options that the Twins have. And his performance didn't really push the envelope of forcing the Twins to make a difficult decision. So this didn't really shock me. I know a lot of people are disappointed. A lot of people are very excited to see Alex on the Twins. Don't freak out. I still think the smart money is easily on him making the most starts of anybody in left field. I don't think anybody's going to sort of establish themselves to the point where he's not going to be the main guy. But let's take a look at it. I mean, you know, you got to call it like it is. This guy, he didn't play well in spring, and it's only 31 at bats. But it is what it is. He only hit 129 with a 182 OBP and a 258 slugging. That's not an indictment on him as a player, or it doesn't really have any negative lingering impact on what I would project for his career. But I certainly felt like this was a situation in which he needed to prove himself and play his way onto the roster. After all, he's never played in AAA. Technically, he spent all last year at the alternate training site. His numbers in AA were more good than great, although he then had a great postseason for Pensacola back in 2019. But he's still with things to prove. And if you look at the other options, this has always been my argument all along. No, nobody's going to be real excited about Jake Cave. I'm not expecting anybody to get fired up about Jake Cave potentially being the opening day left fielder. But he's also having a poor spring, by the way. But he has a major league track record. Unlike Kirilloff, he has a 107 OPS plus, so that number 100 is league average. JK is at 107, so he's been an above average hitter. And if we break it down to splits, he's a really good looking platoon candidate. If we're being really honest with ourselves about it, against right-handed pitching, this is a sample of over 500 plate appearances. He has an 803 OPS, and he's slugged 465. So, I mean, there's your Cleveland best outfielder outside of Eddie Rosario, who's having a poor spring himself. But you know what I mean? There's a lot of teams in which Jake Cave would be a starting player. So it's, I get nobody's going to be real excited, especially compared to a big time prospect. But Jake Cave does sort of establish a floor for this outfield, for this position here that was vacated by Rosario. Now, in addition to Cave, Brent Rooker, he is having a good spring, luckily. And in addition to that, he looked very good with his very short stint with the Twins, albeit 21 plate appearances, but he looked really good. Again, a 960 OPS. Before that, he was absolutely destroying AAA. Back in 2019 before he got injured. Let's pull that up, actually, because he got off to a slow start. That's been kind of Rooker's usual MO, is he gets off to a slow start and then ends up getting really hot. But over June and July for Rochester, he was absolutely tearing it up. Yeah, 319 with a 463 OBP and a 572 slugging for a 1,036 OPS over 41 games. Those were Rooker's last games in AAA. And again, he looked good in the majors with the Twins before suffering that injury on the hit by pitch. Looking good this spring. So if you're looking for somebody to get a little bit more excited about, kind of that unknown, we know Jake Cave. I don't think there's no upside in addition to what we've seen from Jake Cave. If there's somebody you want to get excited about, now that Kirilloff appears to be out of the picture, Brent Rooker is certainly your guy. And I want to point out too, this guy's 26. I mean, how long are you going to sort of send him back and forth in the minor leagues before giving him an opportunity? I'm not sure. It's yet to be seen what the Twins are going to do in left field. Luis Arraez, of course, is a man without a position right now. He started in the left field today for the Twins. It could be that he might see, the majority of the time out there while Kirilloff's down in the minors. Who knows? But just throwing that out there, Rooker's a guy on the 40-man roster looking for playing time, 26 years old. He's proven it in the high minors. He's proven it in the very small sample in the majors, and he's looked good this spring. So there's your guy if you want to get excited. But in addition to that, one of the other reasons why this was seemingly, to me at least, an easy decision for the Twins is they also have Kyle Garlick and Keon Broxton hitting in the minors. So to anybody saying, hey, if Kirilloff was good enough to start in the playoffs, why is he not making this team? I think that's certainly a valid argument. You're facing elimination and you turn to this guy in a start. But one of the things that's really important to look back on is that Byron Buxton started game one of that wild card series, but he was deemed unavailable for game two. He ended up pinch running, if I'm remembering correctly. But Buxton's season ended early after he got hit in the dome with a fastball. So he didn't play any regular season games after suffering that hit by pitch to the helmet, and then started in game one of the playoffs. They didn't think he was well enough to start game two. So that created an opportunity. And again, Brent Rooker was injured at that time. So that sort of created more opportunity for Kirilloff to have that pathway to start that game two of the wild card series. So now Buxton is healthy. Now Rooker is healthy. There isn't as much need there for the Twins. So keep that in mind. I'm certainly not trying to suggest that service time played no part in this decision. I think it certainly played some part of this decision, but I wouldn't portray this as a solely service time motivated decision for the Twins, sending Alex Kirilloff to the alternate site. And one of the things shared in here, Betsy Helfand of the Pioneer Press shared some quotes from Rocco. And basically in this quote, Rocco says, hey, if we're in a situation where a couple days into the season a need arises, we're not just going to let him sit at the alternate site. We're going to bring him back up. So it's not like, of course, teams are maybe going to say the right thing before the situation arises. So it'll be interesting to see if this does happen and something pops up. If the Twins stay true to their word here and say basically they're going to be making baseball decisions and not service time decisions. So unfortunate. It would have been nice to see Alex have a good spring. It's unfortunate he didn't take advantage. A teeny tiny sample again. No real reason to be down on his career projections or anything like that based on this decision. And again, I think it's not going to kill him to work on some stuff, and then he'll have a lot less pressure on him coming into maybe during the season coming up than being the guy on opening day who's sort of handed the reins. I feel like the Twins haven't had really a lot of success when they've done those things. I think I might be getting this wrong, but I think during the Molitor era, they announced Byron Buxton was going to be the number 3 hitter one year, and it just went so poorly. I think by the mid-April, he was moved down, and that was one of the years he really just could not get going. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him to catch fire and then sort of carry some momentum into whenever he does rejoin the Twins. Because again, like I said on the onset of the video, I still would put my money on Alex starting the most games at left field for the Twins this year. So that's my takes. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for some more Twins talk here on YouTube. And, join the discussion here. Join the discussion at Twins Daily. Thanks for checking this out. We'll talk again soon.